Tuscaloosa and Tuscaloosa County are the home of a major university and 2 colleges, many manufacturing industries, an active water transport route, schools, businesses, religious and nonprofit organizations, and many natural spaces. 227,000 people call Tuscaloosa County home. Some residents here have been Alabamians for generations. Others are new to this area, having moved here from other states or from overseas. Tuscaloosa's Many Voices is a new effort to focus on the international residents in our area. It's time for Tuscaloosa to consider the assets and contributions that international residents make to the Tuscaloosa area. This also gives us a chance to look at what resources exist in our community to specifically serve international residents and what resources may be lacking. We all interact with international residents throughout our daily lives here in the Tuscaloosa area. What do we mean by international residents or foreign-born persons? International residents are simply persons born in another country who are now living in the United States, and specifically here in this area. Among these international residents, some have become naturalized U.S. citizens. Some are here with student status or working status. Some are asylum seekers or refugees. Others are here as dreamers, young adults who traveled here as children and were raised by their foreign-born parents. We can also think about international residents' children who were born and raised here. They're first-generation Americans who may have strong ties to their parents' home country, culture, and language. Let's look at some of the numbers that describe international residents in the U.S. and in our area. It's important to note that due to reasons of classification and definition, the number of international residents living, working, and going to school in our area is an undercount.
So on to the data. 1 out of 7 persons residing in the United States is a foreign-born person. That's about 14% of the people in the United States. Here in Alabama, 3.5% of people in the state are foreign-born persons. That's below the national average of 14%. And right here in Tuscaloosa County, 3.7% of the country's residents are foreign-born persons. That's about 8,000 international residents in Tuscaloosa County, according to the most recent statistical count. Many have children who were born in the U.S., and so are first-generation Americans. 1,100 of Tuscaloosa County's 8,000 international residents are students at the University of Alabama. 277 of them are faculty members at the University of Alabama. The international residents of Tuscaloosa County are deeply embedded in our labor force. While 61% of the native-born adults in Tuscaloosa County are part of the labor force, 70% of foreign-born adults are. International residents in our area are heavily weighted towards working-age persons. Some key areas of employment for international residents in Tuscaloosa County are in management, science, healthcare, and education, as well as construction, hotel and restaurant services, and agriculture. In many ways, international residents are similar to native-born residents in the workforce. For example, 29% of both native-born Tuscaloosa County residents and 29% of international residents work in education, healthcare, and social services. Higher education institutions and medical centers are a draw to the highly educated persons who have been chosen to move here. International residents of Tuscaloosa County are more likely than native-born residents to work in construction, agriculture, education, and the service sector.
International residents in Tuscaloosa County come from Latin America, Asia, Europe, other North America, and Africa, in that order. International students in the University of Alabama come from Asia, the Middle East, and North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, Europe, Latin America, and other North America, in that order. International faculty at the University of Alabama come from Asia, Europe, other North America, Latin America, the Middle East, and North Africa, and Sub-Saharan Africa, in that order. International residents in Tuscaloosa County are more likely than others to be renters rather than home owners, to carpool or use public transportation, and to have slightly larger household size. Looking at income levels, we see similarity between American-born residents and foreign-born residents of the county. Roughly 15% of Tuscaloosa County residents live below the poverty line. 19% of international residents do. Poverty affects many persons in our county. The difference between the poverty rate of native-born residents and international residents is discernible but not glaring.
One area where the gap is more glaring is in health insurance coverage. 93 of native-born residents of Tuscaloosa County have health insurance, but only 73% of international residents do. Among international residents who are not U.S. citizens, 65% have health care insurance. All of Tuscaloosa County's K-12 schools and many public schools enroll foreign-born students or the children of foreign-born persons. The Tuscaloosa County school system counts 2,205 students living in a household where a language other than English is spoken. 1,435 of those students qualify for ESL services. And of those 2,205 students, the number of students who are considered an immigrant is 319. In the Tuscaloosa City School System, 986 students live in a household where a language other than English is spoken. 592 students qualifying for ESL services. And of those 986 students, 193 students are considered an immigrant. It is very important to know that once a student has lived in the U.S. for 3 years, he or she is no longer considered an immigrant by the school system. Therefore, the number of foreign-born students in our K-12 schools is much higher. Numerous area businesses are owned by international residents and/or employ many international residents. With the county's new low unemployment rate, it is clear that international residents play many vital roles in providing the full labor force needed in our vibrant and diverse economy.
Today's Tuscaloosa Many Voices Summit meeting represents an opportunity to hear the voices of international residents and the voices of the many organizations, schools, and businesses with which they interact closely. The vision of Tuscaloosa's Many Voices is to create an ongoing network for information sharing, problem solving, and asset growing. We're glad that you're here today to add your important voice to Tuscaloosa's Many Voices.